This is round 5 of the UEM Sidecar Series. We're here in Anderstorp in Sweden.
As final qualifying got underway here at Anderstorp, it was Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead that were immediately on the pace with their Castrol Suzuki. As the time ticked down, the rest of the runners tried to find their way around the Anderstorp circuit. But for Webster and Woodhead, they were no strangers to the place. 7 years ago on their last visit, they won the race and set the lap record. In qualifying here, they were 2 seconds under that lap record, giving the rest of the pack something to chase. Local wildcard riders Johan Reuterholt and Mika Ikonen. They were making some adjustments in the pits and they'd end up qualifying a superb 11th. But we caught up with poleman Steve Webster. Steve, stunning lap time there underneath your own lap record here, set a while ago. Fantastic. What's it like out there?
Yeah, nothing's changed since the last time I was here. Actually, it's very similar. You know, everything's pretty similar track-wise and everything, so I can remember it quite well. And again, I think that's the advantage we've got, is the fact that I've been here a few times before. A lot of the other teams have not been here, so they're having to learn. Like today, maybe, you know, first couple of days out on the track. So it's good so far. We're very happy with that time in qualifying. It's good.
Is that the sort of pace you can run at in the race, though?
I don't think so. I can't say with this heat. You know, everybody lapping, you know, trying to stick maybe 10 to 12 laps like consistently like that in would definitely overheat tyres, brakes and everything. So it's going to be a bit more of a race, I would imagine, again down to endurance and stamina and also tyre choice as well.
But happy to be on the pole again?
Of course, yeah. Always happy to be there.
Mike Roscher with the genial Swiss Adolf Harney on the side. They've had a terrible year so far. I caught up with Adolf and asked him how qualifying was going. Adolf, you've managed to get on the grid today after the problems from yesterday. You must be a bit happier.
Yeah, I'm happy. I have a good time yesterday with the slowly engine, and I hope so that this race is finished. I see the flag and I'm very happy. The position is not the problem, the finish is the problem.
Yeah, it's not been a very easy year for you so far.
Yes, I don't know what it is. Have more problems, and I think it's better, step.
Husband and wife team, the New Zealanders Barry and Jane Fleury on their Coppermill Engineering LCR Suzuki. They were struggling down near the back of the grid. I caught up with Barry in pit lane.
Hello.
Barry, hard work out there?
It's not too bad. It's fairly warm today. Not quite as warm as yesterday, but it's been quite hard work.
Okay, and starting from 14th position on the grid, this tall order on that first lap, I think.
Yeah, well, let's try and keep ourselves out of trouble in the first corner, because it's quite a close first corner to the grid, so it's going to maybe be a little bit of a crunch up at the front. So we'll try and keep ourselves back there out of trouble.
So as the session ended, it was Webster on pole position ahead of Tim Reeves. Tom Hanks had a bit of a nightmare in qualifying, but he got up to 3rd place now. Tom, a lot of problems in qualifying with the engines and stuff, but now you've 3rd place on the grid. You must be pleased with that after the troubles.
Yeah, after the troubles we've had, yeah, I'm quite pleased, but it's just not, we're just not fast enough here. We've done everything we can. Our best motor, we had some problems with, so we changed to another one which wasn't good enough. We've got this one now, and this track just isn't going to suit us at all.
But you're not that far behind Tim and Tristan, so you must be confident.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can do a race distance. Distances aren't a problem to us. Hopefully, if Tim rides like that, he'll be worn out before the end, so we'll see. But I know with this, the first corner's quite slow, and there's a big long straight at the back, so if we're anywhere in the top 5 at the end of the straight, I'll be amazed on the first lap.
So, but another podium, you think?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Good luck.
Cheers.
The crowd were pinning their hopes on local favourites Billy Gowross and Peter Berglund. I spoke to Billy and Peter back in the paddock. Billy Galros, Peter Berglund, your home round of the UEM Sidecar Championship. Much pressure on you this weekend?
No, not at all. It's the same thing out in racing as it is to do the practice. This little moped we've been practice on for many years, so it's no different.
And you have a lot of guests and sponsors here this weekend. How do they enjoy it?
I hope they enjoyed it. We've been around 100 yesterday here, so it's been quite a lot. A lot of talking, by the way.
And qualifying for you is in the beginning not so good, but in the end 4th position on the grid. Are you happy?
Yeah, because those 3 ahead of us, they are at the moment too quick for us. In some tracks they can be closer, but we got a lot to learn, still have.
Peter, the heat is hard for the passenger here this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be, some have a problem, I think. After halfway, it's going to be very hot. And you lose a lot of fluid, so it's going to be hard for the passenger.
And the passenger gets much more heat than the driver. Why is this?
Because of the radiator, you have oil cooler, water cooler, and all that, and you get all the heat on you. So it's quite a lot of heat.
So it's much more difficult for you than for Billy?
Yeah, he just hold on to the steering.
And your sponsor, Sourcecom, they are pleased with the way racing is going this year?
Yeah, he loves it.
And you think for next year is the same?
Yeah, we're already done for next year, so we'll be on next year.
So you can rest easy over the winter knowing that you have the deals?
I want to say so because I was supposed to quit a couple of years ago. That'd be great.
But surely you are too young to stop racing.
Thank you very much. How much money that's cost?
Well, sponsorship is an important part of sidecar racing. And as Billy says, he's lucky enough to have the deal sorted out for next year already. I took the opportunity to speak to Staffan Magnusson from Sourcecom. How did he become involved?
I have an old and genuine interest in racing, and then I actually met Billy Galros just by coincidence, and we started to talk about setting up a project together. So it's a 3-year project, and it's from pure, I would say, comes up from pure racing interest. That's why.
But also there is a business interest for you.
Definitely, there is a business interest. It's a good sport actually for using when we build up relations with our clients and customers and partners in this project. It's good visible racing, and they can be a part of it. They can sit here, they can walk around in the tents, they can talk to the drivers and the passengers. That's difficult to do if you look to other sports actually.
What would you say to other potential companies that want to become involved in sidecar racing?
Yeah, just come down here and talk to the people behind the tents and under the helmets, and they definitely they will be interested because it's visible racing. You can be a part of it. So just come here and take a look actually.
Well, there we've met some of the people from behind the teams. Coming up in part 2, highlights of the race here from Anderstorp.
So it's a very hot, warm welcome back here to Anderstorp in Sweden. This is round 5 of the championship, and as you can see, the girls here in Sweden are very pretty. Well, she was. Found her on the grid. Tom Hanks then drops in to his starting position, 3rd on the grid, with Tim and Tristan Reeves in 2nd. Ian down on the grid. Speaking to Phil Biggs.
Phil, hard race ahead?
I think it's going to be pretty tough with the weather, yeah. The circuit's not so bad, but it's the weather really. It's hotter than it's been all weekend now, and I think it's just down to tyres, I think. Front tyres especially. You can get away with the rears and the chairs, I think. But
do you think you can stay with Tim Reeves and Webber?
You say yes and it won't happen. You say no and it will. I don't know. We just try our best like we always do from start to finish, and obviously Steve's, well, everyone knows what Steve can do, so we'll just have to see what we can do and try and finish in the top 3.
Okay, hope to talk to you afterwards.
Cheers.
Well, Tim, what's the plan then?
Flat out from the word go and hope for the best. No, I want to as soon as I'm lights go green, just attack and then see what happens. then if you get past, then I'll just change my strategy. But as soon as I go green, I'm off.
Confident as ever, Tim Reeves. There is Steve Webster with his daughter Holly, and Steve, of course, front row of the grid. There is Holly. Don't she look like her dad? Better looking, I think. So they're under starters' orders. The lights are going to go out. We're going to get this 17-lap European Sidecar Series race, round 5 underway. Here we go. Oh, Webster with another bad start. So slow off that start line, Steve Webster. What's going on there, Ian?
Yeah, Webster once again just not being able to get that Suzuki off the line and bogged down, but Billy Galros was stuck back behind him as well. So the favourites not doing so well at the moment.
Well, as Tim Reeves said, I'm going to just get off the line and go for it. And as you can see from his onboard camera, he is out front with not a soul in sight. But that usually changes as the race goes on. I'm sure Webster won't take long to find his way through the field and catch up with his man. But there's a good forward shot here of the circuit here at Anderstorp, and it's very, very hot. It's in the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's going to play a big part on the tyre situation here, as Webster explained to us earlier on. Very hot, and Tim Reeves, well, setting a blistering pace out in front on this first lap with, looks like Brian Pedder and Rod Steadman in second. Tom Hanks has got a good start. That's what he needed. He's up there in third. And, well, just saw the yellow bike of Billy Galros down in about 6th or 7th position.
Basically, it's a home event for Billy Galros, and he'll want to finish well here in front of his home fans, as well as in front of his sponsor. But at the moment, it's, as you say, Tim Reeves and Tristan, his brother, younger brother to Tim, of course, in the chair. They are setting an absolute blistering pace. Now, the question we've got to ask, Ian, is at this pace, can these guys keep their tyres intact to the end of the race?
Well, that's a difficult one. The early laps are obviously quite important to try and build up a gap, but it's also when the tyres aren't quite up to temperature, so you don't want to go too hard too early. But there's the rest of the pack coming through, Tero Mannanen, and there's Billy Galros and Peter Berglund, 6th position, with Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead right behind them now.
Well, Webbo, not unaccustomed to getting bad starts. He's done it quite a few times before, but he always seems to find that recipe of speed to get himself back up to the front, and generally he finds these two occupying that position when he gets there. It doesn't normally take him too long to get past them, but at the moment Tim Reeves has headed off in the lead, and well, with our onboard camera facing forward for a change. Normally we reverse the camera and look backwards, but we decided to go forward this time.
Yeah, isn't that just typical, eh?
Yeah, maybe it was a mistake, I think. Maybe we should have faced it backwards. Mind you, the race is not over yet. As we've seen before, Tim has this habit of getting out front, but look at this posse behind at the moment.
Yeah, Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead up to 5th place, just see in the background, but Tom Hanks still trying to find a way past Brian Pedder. A fantastic first couple of laps from Brian Pedder, and you know, really holding off Hanks and the rest in this Euro series is good stuff from him.
It needs to be remembered as well that, of course, Tim Reeves hasn't been here before. Steve Webster has, although it was 7 years ago, and as he said in the interview, the track hasn't changed that much, so that experience has got to play a vital part, a vital role in helping Webster get back on terms at the front.
Yeah, sure, he will know this circuit much better than the rest, but they've had 3 sessions now. Tom Hanks making a move on Brian Pedder, just squeezing Pedder out along that straight. Martin van Gils, and he's actually got Jarno van Lith in the chair this weekend, not his son Tony.
Gave him a holiday, I think.
Yeah, we could have had a holiday in Sweden, couldn't we?
Yeah, far nicer place to have a holiday. Anyway, still on board with Tim and Tristan Reeves. Tim, of course, the driver, Tristan, the passenger, the brothers on that M&M outfit. And as you can see, nothing in sight out front for these two, so they lead the race convincingly. It's all really a question what's going on behind them. Steve Webster beginning to, I think, make a move. Is he there in second, or is that still Pedder?
No, it is Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead on that Castrol Suzuki. They passed both Pedder and Tom Hanks in 1 lap there, so really putting a move on now. And I think we're probably going to see a new lap record from Webster this time around.
How long is it going to be before we actually see Webster go past this outfit that currently leads? We'll wait and see. It's early in the race yet. There's still time to come. And as we've seen in previous rounds, Webster gets those bad starts, works his way through the field, and then gets on terms with the current race leader, Tim and Tristan Reeves.
Yeah, coming through this carousel section, that's 115 miles an hour all the way through that 200-degree bend, a long, long right-hander. And now coming back onto the start-finish straight, you can see that gap has visibly come down. Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs hanging on there in third place. They've got clear of the chasing pack, led by Tero Manninen with Pekka Pivarinta behind. Brian Pedder's dropped back there to fifth position. Billy Galros in sixth. And Gerhard Hautzenberger there not having a great run. Thomas Fukel and Yuri Perchilek, the Czech drivers, they're in about 11th position at the moment. And yeah, they're doing a good job.
But we're back on board once again with Tim and Tristan Reeves. And there is Tom Hanks. Now, Tom was, well, he was a little bit optimistic about a finishing position, but he's running third at the moment, so that's not so bad, is it?
No, he's doing a good job there. I mean, the Yamaha R1 engine was actually 20 kilometres an hour slower down that back straight.
Bit of tyre smoking going on there. Is that Garros? I think it is. So he's got still a lot to do.
Yeah, number 12 there, Hautzenberger, having a big slide early on. That rear tyre perhaps not working as well as it should do.
Here comes Webster. It didn't take him that long. Third place man Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs in the chair. That looks like fourth now for Billy Garros. So, one place to go, get on the podium. That'll be a great result here in Sweden for him, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he can catch up with Tom Hanks. And now Steve Webster having a look at Tim Reeves. This is 160 miles an hour down this straight. Who's going to be the bravest? And Tim Reeves leaves his braking desperately late into that 70 miles an hour corner at the end.
I think young Tim is absolutely determined to beat Webster. He's done it in the National Championship once already this year, but can he do it here on the European stage? It's very... Oh, and Webster's gone off! Well, what a surprise there. I think he lost a wheel.
Yeah, there was definitely a wheel bouncing down the track and into the barriers there as Webster went off. Obviously the sidecar wheel, because it's the only one really that can fall off in that manner. Let's have a look at that again if we can.
So that speed, that's the last thing you want to happen. There goes that sidecar wheel. He's in the gravel, but fortunately they're both still upright, so that's good news as Reevesy comes round now to start lapping the slower riders. And this means that Tim Reeves is going to get his wish, and he's going to win his first European round, I think, Ian.
Yeah, he's on to the final lap now, and he's just got these two back markers. Fukel there that he's going past, and I think that's Barry and Jane Fleury up ahead. And unfortunately, Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs just 4 seconds down. I don't think they're going to be able to make that up on this final lap.
So the Kiwis about to go a lap down on the race leader, or will they be able to stay out front until the checkered flag? Not have to, no. Reeves, he sticks it straight up the inside of them. Thank you very much. As they come past, well, there is Tim Reeves looking back. He can see Steve Webster in the gravel trap and probably see that both the driver and the passenger are A-OK. That's very important. We don't want to see any injuries here, especially to the likes of Steve Webster, or to anybody, if the case may be. But it's going to be Tim Reeves then with his brother Tristan that I think, Ian, are going to come round and take the checkered flag here in Sweden.
Well, it's looking likely unless they have any problems in this final half a lap. But it's going to be a great result for the M&M team. They've worked really hard at this. They've been challenging all season, and OK, it took a problem for Steve Webster, but still a good result for Tim and Tristan.
So this could now elevate them to the lead of the championship, I think. We're looking down and working out our point scenario. Am I right or am I wrong on that one?
I haven't got enough fingers at the moment. I'll tell you in a minute, Ken.
Well, OK, we'll wait and see if we get the final results come up from the timekeepers. But where are they? Any moment now, we should see the nose of that number 8 outfit. There it is, and here they come, and Tim knows it. They've won their first European round. Oh, they've got to be happy with that result for sure. So Tim and Tristan Reeves win here in Sweden, round 5 of the championship. They shake hands there, I think, with Tom Hanks. So there you are, Reeves and Reeves confirmed from Hanks and Biggs in second. Galros and Bergen there in third, from Manninen there in fourth. Van Gils and then Morrissey down there in sixth position with those 10 points. But what a result for Tim and Tristan Reeves.
Yeah, Tim Reeves steps up onto the top step of the podium. Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs in second place there, and a fantastic result from Billy Galros and Peter Berglund getting onto the rostrum in their home race. So how does that affect the standings? Well, Tim and Tristan Reeves take over the championship lead, 1 point ahead of Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs, with Steve Webster dropping down to 3rd position. Van Gill's in 4th with Billy Galros 5th in the standings, but 3rd here today. Billy Galros, Peter Berglund, 3rd place on the rostrum in your home race. You must be so happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's been 25 years since I've been up at it last time in this level.
Was it a hard race for you?
It was, yeah. The Finnish bloke pushed hard all the time and they didn't give me any chance to overtake us. It was very hard.
Tom Hanks, Phil Biggs, runners up, 2nd position once again. Must be frustrating against these Suzukis.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. Today, especially, I mean, we've had some good runs with them. We've been a fair match for top speed at a few other circuits. Today, with a few problems we've had, we just couldn't match them, and we kept a good gap, but I'd already dropped 3 seconds at the start, and down the straight, you know, I was having a little tussle of my own early on, and I kept getting passed back. So what I lost down the straight, I was trying to make up around the corners, and it makes for an hard race.
There's a sight you don't see very often, Webbo coming back in on a trailer. But how was it for Tim and Tristan? Tristan, Tim, 1st international win, you must be over the moon.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I cried on the slowing down that, like a big girl. Yeah, unbelievable. We got an absolute flying start, and to lead from start to finish. Obviously, we had Steve going out that helped as well, but unbelievable. I can't believe it. Yeah, over the moon. And we'd also like a big thank you to Mick and Karen Whitehead for all their help and financial support. It's unbelievable, and they're here as well, and I think they quite enjoyed it. So, yeah, we'll see if we can do them some more.
Yeah, just hope Karen can catch up when her cooking.
Yeah, fed up with this food poisoning, upset tummies and that. I'm not joking.
No,
OK, well done, guys.
Cheers,
First
cheers.
win. Congratulations.
Thanks, cheers.
The only prize for the current world champion today was a sidecar full of gravel. Ian asked him about the incident.
Steve, Paul, a bit of a wild ride for you out there. What happened?
Yeah, racing throws all sorts of things at you. Sometimes, like this thing today, wanted to be a two-wheeler. Sidecar wheel fell off. We had very little warning of it on the second right-hander after the straights. It's a good job there was lots of good gravel and a runoff, because we were travelling quite fast into there and it just let go. The wheel centre snapped and then we were in it. But yeah, good safety around here. It's all right, no problem.
And Paul, I guess you were just sort of hanging on and couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, I mean, there was, like Steve said, there was no warning at all. I'd committed myself fully into the right-hander. Next thing, there was a big bang and we were heading across the grass. So, you know, luckily, like Steve said, there was plenty of runoff. The gravel trap did its job, so managed to keep it on 3 wheels, and we're both all right. That's the main thing. So it could have happened in a worse place.
I have to say, Ian, that was a lucky escape, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these things do happen, as Steve Webster said. He's been around long enough to know that sometimes it doesn't always go your way.
Well, that's it from round 5. Round 6 goes to Germany. We hope to see you there for more top-class Euro Superside sidecar action.